Hello, race fans. This is Alex Gray, the host of the NASCAR show, here with a bit of a quick take, a different episode, if you will. Don't worry, we still have the post-race show coming up after the Auto Club 400 for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, and, of course, Saturday's NASCAR Xfinity race. But earlier today took place qualifying for the Auto Club 400, and it was very controversial. Basically, what happened on the final round of qualifying, nobody ended up turning a lap. Why? Well, on the show from previously, when it was just me and Bobby, we talked about the new rule that discusses the pit road speed. They're now monitoring pit road speed during qualifying. I don't think that was it necessarily. I think we've ran into another bump in terms of the aero package. Let me explain. So with the aero package, obviously it bunches up the racers more, sort of creating this bit of pack racing, right? So I think that's the issue. Because what happened, I can go back to the 2015 Daytona 500 qualifying when we had the group qualifying. In the final round of the qualifying, no one, until like the last 30 seconds, came out of pit road. Why? Because the first driver that came out would not be the fastest driver because, they're not pushing, basically. The lead car, basically in the pack, would not obtain the fastest speed. And I think with a track like Auto Club and Michigan even, I think this issue has popped up again. I don't think this had to do with the what NASCAR enforced for this weekend. I think it has to do more with the aero package. And Clint Boyer said that, he even said that they were actually booed because, nobody turned a lap. Scott Miller, the vice president of competition, expressed his disappointment with what happened. Basically, it said that it made a mockery of qualifying. If you want to go on my Twitter, AlexGray83, Alex, AlexGray83 on Twitter, I said a little spiel on it. I personally believe after seeing that, and I believe the aero package is something that's temporary. It's going to be short-term. It's probably going to be something until the Gen 7 car comes in 2021. But, if this is going to be an ongoing issue, I would suggest, and I know Scott Miller said that he does not want to go back to single-car qualifying. I think you have to. If this is going to be an ongoing issue, I don't think this group qualifying thing is working. After that, of course, NASCAR, according to NBC Sports here, written by Dustin Long, NASCAR will make changes to qualifying after Friday's, quote, mockery. What Miller said basically, quote, I saw obviously what our fans don't want, obviously, having the last 12 cars wait until they couldn't get a time posted on the board and kind of making a mockery out of the qualifying is not what we expect for our fans. It is a little bit on us that we hoped things would go better than that. It's an exciting show when they're out there on the racetrack, but obviously we have a little work to do on our part to get a little bit better format so things like that can't happen. I don't know what NASCAR will do. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to the next race when we go to, I want to say, now, it's either Texas or Martinsville. I want to make sure I get this right because, sometimes I have a issue keeping up with the schedule. So the next race is actually Martinsville. So this won't be a problem at Martinsville, a track like Martinsville. It's a short track. Honestly, if you want to do group qualifying at Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, Iowa, tracks that are under a mile, I don't think that would be an issue. But tracks that are above a mile, the mile and a half, the Auto Clubs, the Michigans, and, of course, heck, Daytona and Talladega, they just do single car because of what I just mentioned earlier with the 2015 Daytona 500. So, they said in 2 weeks, they'll do something different for Texas. And in all honesty, I feel like they need to. The issue is that basically no driver wanted to be first on the track. No one wanted to be second. No one wanted to be or third. They all wanted to be last on the track. Yeah. So basically, yeah, what Dustin Long wrote here, they all want to be last on the track so that they can get the best of draft and get the best time and the faster speed. But guess what? The drivers waited too long. No one made it to the start-finish line before the time expired. So who won the pole? It was the fastest in the second round, which was Austin Dillon. So Austin Dillon will lead the field to the green. Some quotes made by a couple drivers. Kyle Busch said, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." Clint Boyer basically saying, quote, "We just got booed. It's disappointing. It's disappointing for everybody involved. I don't know. I saw this coming 3 weeks ago. I think we all did. Unfortunately, we're going to have to be reactive to it instead of proactive. We'll get through." And as I said here, I agree with Clint Boyer on this, that the whole package is a learning process. It is. You know, I said it before on the show that this package is going to act differently on other tracks. You know, it's not going to be the same on every track. It's going to act differently at Auto Club. It's going to act differently at Texas. It's going to act differently at Michigan, Kentucky, so on and so forth. We've got a good idea, you know, in these last 3 races at Atlanta, Las Vegas, and ISM, or Phoenix. So Miller was asked if this would mean the end of group qualifying at tracks where drafting is a key. He's not quite sure what. He said that he doesn't want to go back to single car qualifying. There may not be another way, and I agree with him. I think I'm starting to think there's no other way. Now, in my opinion, group qualifying, keep it, but at the short tracks and maybe road courses. Maybe short tracks and road courses. I think that's what you do there. But 1.5 miles, 2 miles, I think you just go back to single car qualifying. You know, they want to. I understand. They also want to make qualifying fun. They want to make it interesting for the fans, and I can understand that. But clearly, something is not working. I feel like something just isn't working here. And after watching it, I just shook my head. I was like, really? This is what we're going to do now? That's not what NASCAR is about. And my biggest issue over the years was the gimmicks. Is NASCAR getting too much into the gimmicks? I'm a firm believer in letting them race. Go out there and race, okay? I just want a good race, a lot of passing, a lot of action. That's all I ask for, you know. I never say races are boring because every race has some sort of action. And I don't wish to be negative. I'm just I want to be more critical, you know, and I'm more critical on that what just happened is simply not working. So once again, Austin Dillon wins the pole, and I'll talk more about this too on the post-race show because it's definitely something worth discussing. But I felt like that I wanted to get something out to you guys, and I definitely want to ask those of you listening. Those of you that saw qualifying, you can look at Bob Pockrass's Twitter as well, NASCAR on Fox, obviously, for some posts by them. Bob Pockrass is really good on this. He's left a lot of stuff here. Got an interview with Scott Miller, the stuff I quoted here. Same with Clint Boyer. I am happy though that NASCAR immediately said, okay, we're going to make some changes. We're going to make some tweaks. That's good. That's good. You know, they know that there's an issue and they want to fix it. I honestly don't know. You know, I've never seen anything like it. You know, I mentioned the only other time I can remember anything like this was the 2015 Daytona 500. I remember watching it getting mad. It's like, will somebody go on the track already? Post your qualifying. Just go out there. Okay, but, you know, these drivers, they understand. They want to be the last car out so that they can get the most speed, the most drafting, because that's what picks up speed on the cars. So, you know, I think this has to do with the aero package. You know, And it's a learning process. It's a short-term thing. And, I think that's what's happening here. It's just, this has to do more with the aero package. I'm not going to point the blame at anyone, but I definitely want to say to NASCAR, thank you for, seeing the issue, and I'm glad that, you're going to try and making tweaks and everything. In all honesty, in the end, I would have no problem with just going back to single-car qualifying. One car comes out, warm-up lap, one lap, you're done, here comes the next car. Another idea, if you want to, I'd say you could do like a NASCAR Race Hub, right, or NASCAR America, depending if it's Fox or NBC. Why not do that show while qualifying is going on? Therefore, so you got NASCAR Race Hub, you got Ricky Craven, Bobby Labonte and the gang there, Larry McReynolds, they're there talking, and, qualifying's going on. To the left, they'll show a car, and they'll say, okay, so as you can see here, Quick Boyer just posted second here with I'm just going to say a random number, with a 28.5 or something like that. And then, they'll talk about another story while something's going on, say, we have an update. I don't know. It could be something to incorporate, because I know NASCAR wants to make qualifying more interesting. Now, as I said before, I think group qualifying at the short tracks and the road courses won't be a problem, because it's less draft dependent. But with the aero package causing this closer racing, aero has come more into play, more into effect. So I don't like what happened. I will say that. I don't like what I saw. But I am glad, however, NASCAR is looking at the issue. So we'll just wait and see what happens. I'm telling you this right now. In many of fields in this sport, there's going to be a lot of change within the next few seasons. There's going to be a lot of change. So, I think this aero package is a learning curve, and honestly, I think it'll help NASCAR figure out, okay, what should the Gen 7 car be? How should it run? I know everybody's like, oh, we should go back to this, go back to that. In all honesty, I want to see how it all plays out. So it's a shame. I hope it doesn't happen again. That's pretty much everything I had to say there with today's qualifying at Auto Club Speedway. So, yeah, basically what happened in the final round of qualifying, nobody came out, and by the time someone came out, it was too little too late. Nobody posted the time. And the fastest car in the second round of qualifying was Austin Dillon. He got the pole for Auto Club, and that's pretty much it. So, sometimes you just got to shake your head, that kind of stuff. But pretty much I wanted a little quick take from myself, Alex Gray, here on The Grueling Truth, where legends speak. Feel free to listen to the NASCAR show anytime here on the gruelingtruth.net. And besides that, stay tuned for the post-race show coming Sunday night or Monday, depending when it gets posted. So what are your thoughts on qualifying, and what should NASCAR do with qualifying? Keep the group qualifying, go back to single car, or is there potentially another idea? I like to hear your all's input. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to discuss with me. Feel free to talk to me on my Twitter, AlexGray83. And with all that, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for listening. You're listening to the NASCAR show here on The Grueling Truth, where legends speak. I'm Alex Gray, signing off.